Your actions have consequences. As an ADHD parent, what are you doing about it? Hi, my name is Coach Bruce, and I'm a life coach for ADHD parents. And I wanted to talk about the consequence of letting your ADHD wreak havoc in your life without cleaning up your mess. I'm traveling across the country with my family right now, following our faith, trying to find a new place in this world for us of purpose, passion, love, kindness, doing the things that we love. Super exciting. But the way that this trip is happening is not the way that I would love to picture it. It's not me and my wife riding in the front seat, holding hands and blowing each other kisses. Unfortunately, my actions had consequences. I let my ADHD and my uncontrollable emotions make the decisions for my life for a really long time. I was a really, really bad husband. I was a liar, a cheater. I gaslit and I guilted. I demeaned and I down talked. I broke my wife. I know that there would have been something that would have happened to her because something happens to everybody at some point in their life to change who they are at their core. But the woman I married hardly exists anymore, and it's my fault. My actions had consequences because I didn't know how to control my emotions, and I was either so ramped up and raged or so checked out from my emotions that I did everything I could to distract from my marriage and learn how to grow up. And in doing that, somebody had to suffer. I suffered some, sure. And I know for the longest time, I thought all of the consequences fell on me. Oh, look what I've done to my life and look what I've missed. But doing the next level of self work, you start to unravel the stories and you start to see not only are you responsible for hurting yourself, you start to see the tragic wake you left behind. My wife and I are still married. We still love each other very much, but she doesn't trust me. When we drive in the car, she has trauma of me being overcritical and controlling. I don't, it's weird because it doesn't feel like me saying those things, but I can remember them coming out of my mouth. I can remember being so overbearing and just controlling because my emotions would completely take over and I wouldn't have any logic or any understanding or any empathy about how I'd conversate with her. My ADHD and my lack of emotional training, the combination of both, made it really easy for me to take out all of my aggression on her. It's not easy to talk about these things now because I'm still married to this woman. I love her very much, and I'm glad she stayed with me, but I sucked. I was a terrible husband. And she's not perfect either, but most of the things that have been a problem in our relationship that I blamed on her for many, many years all were rooted in my excuse me, all were rooted in my initial reaction and my rage early in our relationship. I created an environment where she became afraid of me because I didn't learn how to manage my emotions. And that's something that can happen either way in a relationship, but whenever you're 300 plus pounds and you're a big dude, it's much more likely that my emotions are going to be intimidating versus hers. Can she throw stuff at me? Can she scream and slam doors? Sure. And all that happened because she's ADHD too. Her emotional maturity has been slow coming as well. But I didn't feel crushed by her emotional immaturity. It just pissed me off. And so I just got more aggressive and more intimidating. And I crushed her and I made her shrink so I could feel big. And so I'm asking you today, what consequences are there to you not handling your ADHD? And what are you doing about it? Lucky for me, I noticed this before it started to trickle down and ruin my kids as well, to start to break them down and shrink them. Before I got too deep into this shame spiral and this circle of regret and guilt, I started to pull myself out and try to at least distance myself from those kinds of actions so my children didn't make them their habits as well. I saw a meme the other day and it said, the way you parent your children will show up in their marriages. And I feel that really strongly because the way I was parented showed up in my marriage. And the fact that I didn't have any grace given to me or any empathy, and everything that I did was on a scale of what did you achieve? Not thank you for trying. That is how I treated my wife for the first 10 years of our marriage, 10 years plus. It wasn't until I almost lost her that I started to ask myself the question of who am I to demand so much? What have I done to make myself the best partner I could be? At the time, I hadn't done anything. I provided a paycheck for our family and brought us out of poverty, which is great. But that's a bare minimum thing. At some point, if you're going to be in a marriage, if you say you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you have to take accountability for being the best partner you can be. That's my goal now. That is what I spend every day doing, is trying to be a better father, a better husband, and a better leader. So I can know that I've done everything that I can do to show up at the table ready to do what's needed of me. And I encourage you to do the same. Ask yourself, what pain have I caused, and how am I earning back the trust that I've lost? If you really take the time to look at your life and look at the relationships that you've had, and you have ADHD, I promise you there has been a disconnect between how you've existed and who's been hurt. And I encourage you to take a look at it and to start to make some changes today. And when you make those changes, you need a system. You need a program that is going to help you stay accountable and keep moving towards your goals. And I would love to help provide that for you. If you're interested in hearing any more about that, put me in the comments. I just want to start a conversation with you and learn more about what you guys want and how I can help you as ADHD parents engage with passion and purpose and start to live your life no longer on accident, but the life that you design, the life that you want, and the life that gives you passion and purpose. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.